Right into the poster here. We got Transformers, we got Optimus Prime, and Bumblebee. Yeah. And now we just got to do switch over to the numbers. And, make a couple of little quick announcements, okay? Last show, we showed you the blog page, my blogger page, the website, and our Godzilla community, okay? And we got a lot of hits on that. So, now that we got that out of the way, I just want to mention, if you go to the blogger page, it's on our website, videolandexpress.com. The blogger page link is right there in the front page, in the home page. And on that page is our widget for our Blog Talk Radio. I did an hour-and-a-half show, 90-minute show yesterday, just before the fireworks in downtown New York City. We're broadcasting from 59th Street Studio on the west side. And I live right down the block from the Brooklyn Bridge. And that was pretty nice to see all the fireworks and stuff like that. That was the actual location of I Am Legend and Men in Black 3 among all the pictures. But anyway, I did a Blog Talk Radio show for 90 minutes before the fireworks, and we went over with a lot of catching up to do with the reviews of Optimus Prime. I gave it a 3 out of 5. No Shia LaBeouf, no heavy military action. Okay, unfortunately, it was a little way too long, and you don't see the Dinobots into the last 20 minutes of the movie. Oops, you didn't see it. Spoiler alert, but you've been warned in case you want. No, but in case you want to see it, I'll say, Frankie, you like the movie, but what happened to the Dinobots? I'm telling you right now. They get introduced, it's in the commercial. The girl finds like a dinosaur, a species, a relic, and she taps on it and she finds out it's not a bone, but metallic of a prehistoric dinosaur. Then they cut for another 2.5 hours. They get into the action. They go near the end of the movie, of course, in China, and then one of the new, let's see. You have the Samurai Warrior, and you have John Goodman with the cigar chomping Autobot. He's a new character. He's pretty funny. And he said, guys, I need help. And here comes the Dinobots. Fortunately, one of them breathes like a Godzilla. That's the one that Optimus Prime sits on. And the Japanese warrior, samurai, voiced by Ken Watanabe, who is from Godzilla. Okay, and he goes, whoa, I was expecting a bigger car, because the Dinobot kind of transforms into this fine breathing the dragon, which is all cool. But again, it's the last 20 minutes and going, and I said this before in the last show, not to repeat myself, but man, if you're going to go to 2.5 hours, introduce these special edition robots earlier. Same thing with Godzilla. You're going to make a 2-hour movie really fat and bloated, introduce Godzilla earlier. Do not wait for the last 15 minutes for him to show up and fight the mutants. The mutos that they call them, but they were actually parasites. But it was kind of long in the tooth. One thing I have to give to Michael Bay is 3 things. In some of the shots, if you haven't seen the movie yet, why I liked it better than the other ones, okay, that Transformers, I still call this Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. I'm sorry. Talk about a non-original title. That title got ripped off. But he pulled back into 3D. And everybody knows that he cuts in 5 to 10 seconds. He doesn't let the scene rest. But what he did this time, there's a big fight between Gravitron and Optimus Prime, and the camera pulls back, and you can actually see the action. You know, the camera, sometimes he shoves the camera right in the middle of the action, and so for phonetic, you don't know what's going on. The camera pulls back, and you see them fighting, and it goes slow-mo, and the scene lasts at least 15 to 20 seconds when they're fighting mano-a-mano with the swords. I thought he finally learned his lesson. I guess Steven Spielberg yelled at him enough. It's like, Michael, you got to pull back, okay? Start with the fast cutting editing and can we see the 3D effects? I didn't see it in 3D. I'm tired of 3D. It doesn't matter to me. Believe it or not, I paid $42 to see Godzilla in 3D IMAX. That was the first time, and that will be the last time, okay? You don't really need to see these movies in 3D. You know that. We mentioned that a lot of times before. But anyway, I still recommend it. It's in order. Transformer 1. Was it the title Instinct of the Age of Extinction? Number 2, that's Dark of the Moon, right? And then the last one would be Revenge of the Fallen. That's the worst one of the series. So if you like giant robots fighting, which are all I wanted to see, no problem. Kelsey Grammer was great as a villain. Mark Wahlberg does a lot for the movie. No Shia LaBeouf whining, crying, wincing, peeing, whatever.
No love story.
Yeah, no love story either. Actually, he's got a daughter with a boyfriend, but they play it as a goof, and the boyfriend is the comedy. He's the comedy relief of the movie. Yeah. And he does a good job on
So
it.
you sort of like the Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, no, once I heard he was not in the movie, I decided, I got to see this movie. You got Mark Wahlberg. I love Mark Wahlberg. You can't go wrong with him, and he does a big difference. The movie has a more mature attitude, and Stanley Tucci,
Thank God.
he plays the inventor. You think he's going to be the villain, but then he turns around, and Mark Wahlberg, if you're an inventor like me, you will have a conscience. And there's a great line for Galvatron says, whatever species I travel to in the universe, all your species are the same, always thinking about yourselves. I thought that was a great line. So, it's more...
Yeah, that's part of, what do you call it? Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought it was a good line. So the script is a little bit better. The action is better. It was filmed better. So for me, I really got a kick out of it. Still a little bit too long. They could have cut out a subplot, blah, 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 blah. It's up to you now. If you haven't seen it and you're thinking about it, all I can say is if you don't have the patience for 2.5 hours, then just wait for Netflix. Either that or you got Tammy. I mean, this girl, Melissa, she does the same role.
So she plays a big fat joke.
Yeah, okay. It's like a one joke idea, I mean, she was on Saturday Night Live. I thought she was fantastic. She got so much comedic talents. She reminds me of Carol Burnett and Lucille Ball all rolled up into one. She's a really comedic genius. Unfortunately, these movies don't do her any good. And the box office. Now, there was a controversy. I talk about it in detail on the Black Talk radio show, so if you want to listen to it, you can go there. But the controversy was, on Transformers 4 that they kind of cheated with the numbers. They made $100 million when they actually made only $96 million. I don't know why they cheated for about $4 million, but I guess they want to make it look good that it made over $100 million for the weekend. Well, this weekend, Transformers 4 is not going to clear not even $40 million, believe it or not. So talk about a way over 50% drop-off. And Tammy is still not going to beat the movie. Transformers is still going to be number one, but this is July 4th weekend. And already the estimates are coming out that this movie is going to make half or less than half of what it did the premiere weekend. And that was a story that's been going on for a couple months now. And the studios don't want to admit that. And except for if you go to an article in Box Office Mojo, which I have a link on my blog page, it says that the box office is really off by 25-30%. I've been saying that all year on my Black Talk radio show, and since we've been coming on here for our third show, selling me at 24 years live on the air, the box office has been way off.
Yeah, and I think it's going to continue to do that. Like I've been preaching millions of times that the movie experience is horrible. You got to share a movie experience with all these other kooks, and they still can't. It's like they're still texting. You can still see the shining light of it. You still smell people going in there with hot sauce, curry, barbecue.
Buffalo chicken wings, yes.
Buffalo chicken wings. It's going right through your nose. It's amazing. Where do they bring this stuff? That's what I'm saying. I'd rather stay home and binge watch than have this terrible experience in the movie theater. It's ridiculous.
Well, funny you're talking about binge watching. I got a list over here. Maybe we should go into that. Everybody wants to talk about the summer weekend and Transformers. Like I said, I give it 3 out of 5. It's a fun movie. If you haven't seen it, see it this weekend because this movie is not gonna last very long in the theaters. That is for sure. Again, bragging rights that the movie made over $300 million overseas. They're kissing China's ass because that's the biggest foreign box office market right now. But just because it's gonna make almost $1 billion doesn't mean it's
good.
Exactly. Okay, that is gonna be a classic. Okay, last time we mentioned Edge of Tomorrow with Tom Cruise, and I mentioned Snowpiercer with Captain America, Christopher Evans. 2 classic sci-fi movies, and nobody went to see. Now the next movie coming out next week is going to be Planet of the Apes, and already they're calling it a classic. Okay, way better than the first one, and can't wait for the third part of the trilogy. Already they're talking about third part. So next week is going to be Planet of the Apes. Just to let you know, my Blog Talk Radio show is an hour and a half. I go into more details what I just mentioned. But I will have the Planet of the Apes special next week after the movie premieres. And then after that, I'm going to have my Godzilla special. Those 2 specials are going to be on Black Talk Radio for the rest of the month. So just to fill you in. But if you want to talk about that, feel free to call us. In the meantime, a good question. Anything else to see? Well, what do you recommend?
Okay, so far, like I said, I've said all along, what we have here is Guardian of the Galaxies, August 1st, Hercules for me. The rest of you guys couldn't go see it or not.
I couldn't kill us.
July 25th. The Expendables.
Yes.
3, definitely August 15th. Sin City, definitely.
Yes.
August 22. If you have the original copy, check out the original copy so you can see how great it is. And actually, I remember seeing in the theater and not being able to concentrate on that movie, but as soon as I got the DVD, I was able to see so many different levels in that movie. That movie was amazing.
As a matter of fact, if you get the special edition, Blu-ray edition, or the DVD to this edition, you get to see the movie without. It was done mostly on sets with green screen, like where we have in a back here.
That's the way all movies should end up becoming eventually.
Eventually, right? And you see the whole movie. What they did was fast forward to the whole movie. So the whole movie plays out in 15 minutes. But if you put your slow motion button on your remote control, you'll be able to see the movie completely using the green screen. You don't see any of the filled-in backgrounds. I thought it was very ingenious the way they did that. For some reason, nobody else is doing that. That's a first for Robert Rodriguez. Another first that he did, he put, when he did, was it Grindhouse? And he played his part of the movie. See, Quentin Tarantino did Death Proof?
Yes, Death Proof with the automobile.
Thank you. And then the other one was...
Planet Terror.
Thank you. And Planet Terror, on the Blu-ray edition, you get to hear the audience. He actually filmed the movie with the audience in the background. And he also did that with the original Sin City, also on the special Blu-ray to this edition. So you might want to check that out. I think that's kind of ingenious. You hear the audience. Nowadays, we both agree on this. Not only is the movie-going experience is kind of a bummer, you go to matinees, and you say matinees are usually full. I go to night times. And you know the movie is bad when you walk into a theater and the movie comes out that Friday night and the movie theater is practically empty. I mean,
well, everyone's trying to avoid each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a good sign. I like to go to see a movie when there's a lot of people, so you can laugh and cheer and everything, you know, if it's a comedy action film. And when there's you and 5 other people, that's not a movie-going experience. I'm sitting there going, why am I spending $15 when I can stay home and watch this on Netflix?
Yeah.
So
yeah, because I don't need someone laughing or crying over my movie. Just let me hear some of the lines. But I do give it to Richard Rodriguez. I remember he was on the show Spoilers with Kevin Bacon. I'm not Kevin Bacon. What's our pal there? The big chubby guy.
Oh, Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. He was there, and he said, you know, try to make the movie that you can make with the money that you have. Don't try to far reach a film that you can't make. So that I give him a lot of credit for Sin City. That is a beautifully done movie because the graphic novel is great. It's well written.
Frank Miller, Batman.
Yeah, and if they continue it, it's awesome. I'll continue to watch it as long as. And if they don't want to produce it for movies anymore, heck, they can move it to Netflix and I'll watch it. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was it? What do they call it? Teenage Mutant Turtles. It's going to come out on August 8th.
Why is Megan Fox still in the movie, considering it's produced by Michael Bay?
Yeah, I thought they had a falling out. All of a sudden, they patched up.
Unless she comes really cheap as far as getting hired by salary. I mean, she was worth $1 million, and now what? They got her like $1.95 per hour or something.
I don't
get it.
I could imagine that.
Sorry,
because she's not even a great actress, to tell you the truth. I mean, she's not even what do you call it? You know, it's like she's one-dimensional.
Yeah,
she's attractive, but I bet you they can find a whole bunch of attractive other people who can actually act. How hard is that? I don't know.
Well, let me tell you.
Somebody disagreed.
Apparently, any single day, you can find 10,000 unemployed actors looking for work.
Right.
There's got to be some talent. I should know because sometimes I work as a background actor. And let me tell you, everybody is handing out their business cards. Hey, Frankie, if you know somebody who can hire an actor, let me know. Okay? And because I say exactly the same thing. Anyway, but as far as the movie-going experience, what's everybody doing? Either they're in the park, watching our show, or the binge watching.
Yep.
So I know you have a whole category.
Oh my God, binge watching is a great experience. No one bothers you. You can pause a film, eat. No one's laughing over what you're saying, and no one pulls out the phone in a dark room where you can see it lights up like a torch.
And get shot for it too.
Yeah, these are the following films. The following binge films I'm watching. Red Dwarf. It was created in BBC. It became this big hit. It was back 25 years ago, and it's coming around again. It's something interesting. I was telling you before that it seemed like a lot of their premises were probably ripped out to put on Voyager with a hologram crew member.
Yeah.
They have that. Copper, another that's producing for the BBC. It's great. They have 2 seasons of it. It's great. It's sort of like talking about the turn of the century in New York during the Civil War period. Civil War. Civil War with
I think right after the Civil
Lincoln
War.
And all that. Yeah,
right.
It's like the draft riots and all that. It's after the draft riots in New York. It can be. I guess it can be combined with Gangs of New York. It's around the Gangs of New York period.
Exactly, around that area. I saw the first season, and it kind of started off a little bit slow, but they're introducing all the characters, but they really get the feel of that time period.
Yeah, it was really disgusting.
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 Gotta give it to the British.
Debauchery. It was like the Old West.
Yeah.
It was disgusting, dirty, no sewage, no plumbing, no running water.
If anybody who saw
electricity,
anybody who saw a Seth MacFarlane 'A Million Ways to Die, he does a speech in the ballroom saloon, and he goes, it's smelly, it stinks, it's dirty, but he goes down a whole list, which is kind of funny, but it's kind of true. If you ever seen that movie, it's like in the first 15 minutes of the movie when everybody gets around to seeing it or catching up to it on DVD or Netflix. I mean, that's where all these movies are going to, Netflix.
Right.
We're going to be mentioning Netflix a lot more down the road on the shows. But Copper, same thing. You see it's so authentic.
Yeah.
And
you could feel the cholera coming to you.
Yeah.
You feel like you have to take a shower right after it.
And talking about BBC America, they always do great with the productions, and we're looking forward to Doctor Who. We never really talked about it in the past couple of years. We're going to have a brand new Doctor Who. I know everybody's waiting for that in August. So after Planet of the Apes, we're going to find out what we're going to be talking about, because August is going to be a really good month for us. That's
definitely.
for sure. But for now...
everything's coming out in August.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I always thought the blockbuster hit would come out in July.
Exactly. Well, Hollywood, they release all the big movies in May and June. Transformers is the last big one into Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, there's nothing else in between besides Planet of the Apes. Planet of the Apes, let me tell you, it's going to do huge.
Jeez.
Because it's going to have 3 weekends all to itself. There's no competition. So, and I'm a big Planet of the Apes fan. So, like I said, I'm going to have a big Black Talk Radio show on that.
I don't understand. Did they think that Transformer was going to be a mega hit? Did everybody got scared away and moved towards August?
Yeah, I mean, they bumped all the other movies, but Transformers is not doing good this weekend. But we're talking about binge watching. I finally went through Nurse Jackie, and I had to say goodbye to Californication. Am I saying that right? That's such a tongue twister for me. 7 years goodbye, and the show ended with a great rendition of Elton John, Rocket Man, a real true classic. And they finally wrapped it up, and that was such a funny show for me. I mean, it just had a little bit of everything. And of course, us True Blood fans have to suffer for the next year, the next season, should I say. We got 10 more episodes left, and these 2 episodes were boring. Oh, God. I mean, we finally got rid of that fairy thing, I forget the actor's name. Was it Stewart? Steven, the brunette vampire. He did the Sound of Music. Apparently, the guy can sing. He's going to do another musical. Suki, she made a cameo appearance in X-Men, and she was also part of the problem of having her scene deleted, which is going to be on the Blu-ray edition. That's on the internet. You can find that anywhere. And of course, the tall blonde vampire. He's done about 5 movies since the premiere of True Blood, and none of his movies are a hit. And he was even in Battleship with Rihanna. We know where that went. But the director of that movie, Battleship, because I want to tie this up a little bit, the director of Battleship is Peter Berg, and he did a great movie at the beginning of this year with Mark Wahlberg called The Last Soldier. Excellent movie that came out in the beginning of January. That's on my top 10 list. And that's why I back up Mark Wahlberg and Transformers, because I thought he was really good. Okay, he's in a Transformer movie. He's got to yell. He's got to shoot a lot. I know.
Yeah, got to do a lot of running.
He's got to do a lot of running. But I thought,
got to be in really good shape to be in a Transformer movie.
Yeah, we got to be in good shape on all these movies. They're all action. But
I don't see that much running in some of these films. As much running as Transformers. Transformer has some of the most long scenes that you have of running that I've ever seen. I get tired just watching one of them.
There's one scene where Mark Wahlberg and family are running away from these projectiles that are exploding in the street, and the whole scene just goes in slow motion. You can go out for popcorn, come back, and you won't miss anything. There's one long drag-out scene. But compared to action movies to smart, intelligent scripts, like I said,
Which you won't probably see in the movie theater.
unfortunately. But the big show, which is a big surprise for everybody, is Orange is the New Black, because I got called for that show to do background work. And unfortunately, I was away in Puerto Rico. And that show is a huge hit. And they're constantly looking for people for that show. And that's a big surprise, because we both, speaking of Voja, who was in the show?
Yeah, Janeway.
Captain Janeway. I was surprised about that. You were telling me something about that.
Yeah, I was saying that it was amazing that she was in it. It took me a long time to figure it out. Wait a minute, I recognize her.
I didn't recognize her at all.
Yeah, she had her hair, she had red hair. She, looks different than Janeway will look. But I guess Voyager's one of those shows that after a while you forgot about it.
Yeah.
It wasn't memorable at all.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a Star Trek special on the Blog Talk Radio, since they just released Next Generation Season 6 on Blu-ray, and I'm waiting for them to release on Season 7, because already they're going to go ahead and release Deep Space Nine on Blu-ray by the end of the year for Season 1. And right behind that is going to be Voyager.
Who's been asking for that?
I guess the Star Trek fans, I mean, the Next Generation Blu-ray edition has been a huge hit. And the fans just buy it up and stuff like that. I know because I did.
I know, because I remember there was a big controversy with Deep Space Nine, that people were really angry with it. That it was a space station, but it wouldn't move anywhere.
Yeah, it was boring. Yeah.
Yeah, people were angry. They wanted it to move, but they didn't understand the concept. It's a space station. It's not supposed to be moving. Well, it's not a starship.
They introduced the Reliant, I think, in the second or third season, just to get so they go out and explore. And then finally,
to make a coffee run or a beer run.
beer run, yes. But of course, they introduced Lieutenant Worf, and then the show really took off big time. So
it took a long time.
It took a long time. Yeah, but Captain Janeway on Orange is the New Black, she had that red spiky hair. She had the Russian accent. She is kind of bloated,
That's part of the whole look. The whole
look of the show. Yeah.
She's like doing a De Niro thing.
So that was a big surprise. So if you want to know what happened to Captain Janeway, check out that show. I mean, I was surprised. To be honest with you, some of the characters I just can't get into. I mean,
no, but that shows you something about these binge watching shows. The people want to have something new to see, something like, I've seen this in the theater, I don't want to see it again. But this is something new that you probably won't get to see in the theater.
Right.
Like when Arrested Development, the final season came out, it went right to Netflix. Or House of Cards. New shows, new content. People are looking for that.
You were telling me the story about Kevin Spacey. I mentioned about House of Cards, but there was something else that you mentioned I didn't realize.
What I mentioned about Kevin Spacey was he probably wasn't making any more movies. He came around to Netflix and discussed with this concept for House of Cards. They gave him $100 million to work on the first season of House of Cards, and that took off.
Yeah.
Like, normally, where would somebody get, you want to do this, $100 million, and you want to put it in a movie? Nobody's going to talk to you about it and say, no, if it's not going to be a blockbuster, we're not going to put it on. What's this, intelligent television or intelligent drama? No one wants to put that in a movie. They all want to see things exploding, action, big explosions, quick scenes. So he discussed this with Netflix. That nobody thought it was going to come around for $100 million.
It's funny because Kevin Spacey's career kind of halted when he did Lex Luthor and Superman Returns, and his career went really got sidetracked, and he couldn't get he was asking for a lot of money for the different projects. He wasn't getting it. Went to Netflix, give me $100, I give you forget about the pilot. How about I give you a whole season? And who's following Christopher Evans, Captain America, said the same thing. Once this Marvel thing is over, he wants to go ahead and produce and direct. Everybody's following Brad Pitt of producing your own projects.
World War Z, that was great.
That was a huge hit for him. As a matter of fact, Brad Pitt is saving the day. He's saving Shia
LaBeouf?
Thank you. I can never get that name right. And he's doing a World War II tank movie.
With Shia LaBeouf?
With Brad Pitt.
Jeez.
Yeah, go figure that one out. So Christopher Evans, they offered him to do some Netflix projects. He's taken the bait. Tom Hardy, Bane from Batman. and he's going to come up with a reboot version of Mad Max. Great actor, really underrated, and they offered him a package deal to go ahead to write, produce, direct, whatever the hell he wants to develop projects. And that's what's happening with a lot of good talent. They're getting tired with the sci-fi stuff, the superhero stuff. Not everybody can be Robert Downey Jr. and make $50 million plus for playing Iron Man. You know,
cannot.
I mean, yeah,
people's attention span for that is very small.
Yeah, I mean, Vin Diesel actually went and fought. A lot of people didn't know he played he did the voice of Iron Giant, but he had a hard time getting work after that. He did a cameo, well, a small part for Saving Private Ryan, and he told the story where he tried to get an agent for a couple of years and said, "You're not going to be a megastar." Flash forward, Fast and Furious, but even then, he still had to fight for playing the big tree in the Guardians of the Galaxy. I forget the name of the tree, but what's the name of the tree? Well, you had Rocky the Raccoon.
Right.
Oh, I know his name is not Rocky, but and the other one is he plays the this is pictures tree there. Let me see, what's this?
Yeah, because that was another
this
thing
little
about
guy over here. Yeah, he plays. That's Vin Diesel's voice playing the tree. Well, we don't have to bother zooming in. That's all right.
Because that was another thing about Vin Diesel.
Groot.
It was right after he did. I think right after he did Pitch Black. They were giving him so many other projects to work on. He was even supposed to work on a project called Spartan, where he played Spartan.
He's part and Hannibal.
Yeah, Hannibal.
Riding the big giant elephant.
It never came to fruition. I guess after some of his films, after Pitch Black, and then he tried to do another Pitch Black movie,
Reddick.
And Reddick.
After that bombed.
Yeah, everybody moved away from him.
Yeah,
I think that was sort of like the kiss of death.
Yeah, no, well, right now he needs the Fast and the Furious 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever.
yeah, just keep putting the Rock in it. It'll keep working. Heck, there's so many movies they can remake. Remake Cobra. And if they don't want to put it anywhere, put it on Netflix. Make a series. There's so many great concept movies. Unbreakable. They could put that on Netflix. Make it a whole series.
I didn't like that movie. They can keep that.
Yeah, they can keep it. But I'm saying it can run. I could just imagine it running on Netflix because it can actually develop it. Well, and as a movie, it's a terrible concept because it takes a while to develop something.
Well, you heard it here, folks. Netflix. We're going to be talking a lot more about this down the road.
Yeah, about binge watching, binge looking at movies.
And we'll see how bad True Blood is really going to get before it finally ends this season. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Don't forget, go to our blogger page. You can find the link on our website, videolandexpress.com. We got a 90-minute show on Block Talk Radio. You find the widget, the link. Everything is there on the website. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back in 2 weeks to talk about Planet of the Apes. And we'll see you then.